Hello everyone, welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And in this video we will very briefly be talking about red lines. And just to make it perfectly clear, Russia has for decades had a deliberate doctrine of striking hospitals and other civilian targets. Going back to Chechnya in the 90s, and moving on to Georgia and moving on to Syria and now Ukraine. Russia attacks civilians as part of its doctrine. If Russia goes to war against a neighbor because it feels the need to expand for some reason, Russia will deliberately kill civilians. The Russian doctrine for warfare is essentially based on committing war crimes. If it's a war crime, then it is part of the Russian doctrine. And this is going to be short and simple, and we're just going to be taking a look at Wikipedia. Russian withdrawal from UN agreement. In June of 2020, Russia announced its decision to quit a voluntary UN agreement that aims to protect hospitals, medical facilities, and humanitarian aid deliveries in Syria, under which the locations of such facilities were shared with the conflicting parties in a bid to prevent them from being targeted. Right. So you told the opposing side, this is where we have hospitals, this is where the medical facilities are, don't bomb that area. And Russia went, nah, fuck that shit, we're not gonna tell you where stuff is, and then we're gonna use what you just told us and bomb that shit. Essentially, that is what they did. And as we can see here, Russia had a campaign aimed at destroying hospitals in Syria. So after Russia began military operations in Syria, aerial bombardment intensified. There were more than 300 attacks on medical facilities by Syrian and Russian forces. From May to December of 2016, medical facilities were attacked about 200 times by Russian and Syrian forces. And before March 2016, more than 6 hospitals were attacked in the Aleppo governorate. And in April 2016, over 2 dozen were killed when a Russian airstrike hit a hospital. And if we take a look, July 2016, by the end of the month, 6 hospitals in Aleppo had been destroyed. And this just continued, right? This was a deliberate campaign. This is what Russia does. Russia attacks hospitals, the sick, the elderly, the young, the wounded. Russia just moves in and kills them all. They're nicely packed tightly together in the hospital. Children who need medical assistance, elderly who need medical assistance, men and women who are injured or otherwise in need of hospital treatment. Russia considers those people legitimate targets and just kills them. And if you're a Vatnik, a Westerner who supports Russia, how the fuck do you agree to this? If Russia is not stopped, they will keep attacking civilian targets. Shopping malls, schools, hospitals, and parks with families. Russia is a terrorist state, an evil regime on a level we have not seen since 1945. They are seeking to subjugate others, and if you resist, Russia will bomb, kill, and maim your families, kidnap your children, and burn down everything you hold dear. Russia is evil. The Russian government is evil. The Russian military and its leadership is evil. And evil must be stopped. Bucha was only the beginning. It was merely a taste of what Russia offers the world. And now, when missiles strike hospitals and with intention kills children, there can be no doubt. Russia represents nothing but war, despair, tyranny, and evil unleashed. We have heard so much talk of Russia's red lines, lines that are meaningless, that have no value, because Russia fears the West and cannot do anything about Western military might. It is time for the West to draw its own red line and make Russia understand that this ends now. A red line that we will not back down from. If Russia succeeds in Ukraine, there's no telling who's next. Moldova, Georgia, or some other country in the east that we haven't yet heard of. I mean, Russia won't stop. Russia will keep going. Russia will keep expanding. There's no doubt about it. And in order for Russia to expand, Russia has no issues at all with killing civilians. They will bomb every town, city, every school, every hospital that stands in Russia's way of expanding. They will kill all the civilians they need to kill in order to conquer another country. They need to be stopped. And it's only the West that can do it. Yes, Ukrainian soldiers are courageously fighting for their homeland, for their families, but without Western support, Ukraine can't pull it off. It is the West that can put a stop to this. And it is the West that has to put a stop to it. So, what else is there? Gå på marsch. Framåt.